Hey guys, welcome to SuTube. It is August the 12th, and I just want to go over a few things that I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart right now. First thing I want to point out is I want to compare this daily Bitcoin chart to the Wall Street cheat sheet once again. I want you to focus on this horizontal purple trend line here. And now let's go over to what I have mapped out here. Does this not look very similar to our COVID dump? We have our V-shaped recovery, we have our horizontal resistance, which we got right back up to and consolidated sideways for quite a while here. And then we broke above and we started testing that horizontal resistance as support, just like what's shown here. If we go back to the chart, we are consolidating above that purple line, which would be the same as the red line on that picture I just showed you. So I am finding that interesting. I'm going to go back one more time just to show you what I think we could be in for. You do hear some traders out there, YouTubers and the such, just the general comments actually even. A lot of people are thinking it's a disbelief or a suckers rally, and you can see here that that's just basic reaction to the price chart. And honestly, the way I heard it mentioned by, I believe his name is Kevin Svensson, is he had mentioned that a lot of people almost have PTSD from this bear market, and I could actually agree that everyone is just stuck in bear mode. I know obviously there is a lot of people on the flip side who there is a lot of FOMO, there is a lot of bullish sentiment, a lot of traders and YouTubers are bullish just like I am. But if you look at the comments, there's a lot of people who are a little sour, I think, because they have been leaning so bearish lately just because that's, well, a lot of them probably since they've been in this space, myself included. I basically bought the top when I got into crypto. I think I got into it when it was around 19,000 USD or somewhere in there. But I've learned how to trade. I've learned a lot of lessons on the way. It's been a very valuable lesson, but a lot of people don't look at things that way. And if they aren't following technical analysis all that closely or don't understand it, it's easy to see that they would be stuck in bearish mode. And that would be this disbelief rally here. So that's kind of why I'm looking at things that way based on this chart here. I want to zoom in a little further to the 4-hour chart and show you what I'm looking at. I know I had pointed out in my last video that there was this bit of an ascending triangle, something like that. But I had actually mentioned in my last video that I didn't overly like this pattern because I thought it was playing out too quickly and I didn't think we were ready to smash through the 12K yet. And that's exactly what happened. We dropped. And one thing we got to be a little bit leery about right now is that we could absolutely test this, what was a potential triangle, get a bit of a support resistance flip there, and test back down possibly to this purple horizontal line around 10.5 thousand. However, that being said, like I had just mentioned, I was thinking that this pattern hasn't had enough time to coil up, but look, if we extend to where we dropped to and where we got our bounce just in the past couple days here, that is a much more reasonable pattern, in my opinion, to coil up, get a third touch point, maybe even a third touch point along support, just coiling up a little further before we continue our move to the upside, if this is in fact going to play out as a continuation pattern, which I believe that it will, even if we drop down to the 10.5 thousand, this horizontal support now. And even, I know I've mentioned in many videos that even if we drop this purple line, that I don't think there would be anything wrong with a retest of my white trend line, which you guys know if I zoom out to the weekly chart, would be this giant fucking triangle that's been playing out since, well, July of 2017, that 3-year pattern there. So I think you guys know that most triangles I play, I do end up getting a bit of a retest of the triangle as they resist to support flip, so I don't see why this pattern would have to be any different, or if it did happen, I know a lot of people think if we drop this horizontal support at 10.5, people are going to turn very bearish, but there's not a very far gap down to where we would be retesting this triangle, and I think that would be the perfect storm to catch a lot of people off guard. So that's just something that I want to put on your radar once again. And again, looking at this triangle for now, I really want to see how that plays out. Now I'm going to zoom in even further. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. I know this looks like organized chaos here, probably mostly just chaos, but I just want to point out that line that I was pointing out in my last video. These two yellow trend lines right here and here. I mentioned I was taking a trade when we got this resist to support flip along this yellow trend line, and I did say it's a very short time frame there. When I'm playing a 15-minute chart, like, I can be taking profits quite quickly. I mentioned that it never quite had the rally power that I was hoping for, so I did close out half my position to reduce my risk. And I said I wanted to watch with the rest of my position how it respected these two yellow trend lines, and I was very interested what would happen at the intersection of both those lines to make the decision on the rest of my position. When we got this candle body close below that intersection between my two trend lines, I decided to close the rest of my position to reduce my risk. And obviously it was a good call, because I would have been liquidated out of my entire position because I was on a 25x trade. Well, it's over 4%, so that's over 100% loss. So obviously it was a great place to have a stop loss, or to exit my trade rather. I never did take the short. Obviously, it would have been beautiful gains had I, but I have mentioned in many of my videos that I'm not really looking to play short right now, because I do think the macro trend is quite bullish right now. So I'm more looking for long setups, even if the price is going down. You can see here that on this shorter time frame that I've extended a few red trend lines, and you can see as we break them that we're starting to get moves to the upside. I'm just gonna erase this just to clear things up a little bit. Right now you can see we have this yellow trend line that could start acting as support on a bit of an uptrend that carried us out of this down red sloping trend line. And as long as this yellow trend line is holding, I am very interested in the long side of things currently. If we end up dropping this yellow trend line, especially if we drop it right here, things would look much more bearish just for the very short term. This is, again, 15-minute time frame, not too concerned about it for the macro trend. But I would be interested in playing a bit of a short if, let's say, we trade up this trend line, break below it, and get a retest of it and start to look bearish, or get a double top somewhere just below this yellow trend line, something like that. But for now, we're going to have to see how things play out. Next, what I want to point out would be Ethereum. You can see that we actually have a similar situation. We have a bit of a continuation pattern, potentially a bit of a triangle. We have as many touch points as I need to consider this a nice resistance line. We have at, well, 4 touch points already. And yeah, that's something that also interests me. If we could get a break and a retest of this triangle, I would be very interested in playing Ethereum as well to the upside. And also, I would consider playing short if we do get a break below this triangle and a retest and possibly back down. And yeah, I'm keeping Ethereum on my radar. You guys know that I've played it a couple times in the last few weeks. I'm not watching it near as closely as I'm watching Bitcoin currently, but I am interested in playing both. No problems with that. So we're going to have to see what goes on here. I'm just going to zoom out a little further. Let's take a look at the daily chart. You can see that we had this downward sloping trend line. I'd compare that very similar to the massive triangle that Bitcoin had. Ethereum actually broke out of it first and got a very nice healthy move to the upside. The fact that we are consolidating, really, if you wanted to really get into it here, you could consider this a bit of a triple bottom, very short, very quickly happening. Obviously we got our 1, 2, 3 bottoms. I don't really consider that much of a triple bottom. I'm just looking at it as more of a consolidation period more than anything. But yeah, again, Ethereum, definitely something I'm interested in playing. Right now it looks like this, well, for one, now that I'm on the 15, this 4 hour pattern may not be perfect, but you can see that we got very close to testing that resistance again. So you can see that there is still some sell pressure there. We're struggling right now, but again, this has only been, well, less than an hour of trading that we've been struggling there, so it would not surprise me if we do get above and then continue up to the upside. If we were to look for targets, nice measured move here. Let's just do this. You guys know if I take the height of the triangle, take it from a breakout point, if we are to break out right now on this very candle, I would say that my target would be around $480, $475, somewhere in there. Anywho, guys, I think that's about where I'm going to leave off for the day. I just wanted to show you a little bit of insight that I am looking at on Bitcoin as well as Ethereum and comparing it to just a general chart cycle sheet and that sort of stuff. If you do appreciate this content, if you could please just give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe. And if you have any friends who are into crypto or technical analysis or anything like that, feel free to share my channel. That would be absolutely wonderful. Can't thank you guys enough. And with that, I'm not sure if I'll have time this weekend to make a video or not, so if not, stay safe out there, have a good weekend, and with that, I'm out. Peace, fellas.